Waiting
What
to
the
listen.
fuck are you doing? Someone's going to ask me, what the fuck do you think you're doing? We're here to start the revolution. Aren't you here for the same reason?
We're here with Kerry Cassidy. How you doing, Kerry? What do you reckon? And what do you reckon about this? You've come all the way to England, London, England, and what do you reckon about the resistance? Here it is, all is.
Such as it is at the moment. Well, I think that a lot of people have already gone home. It's getting late in the day, but there was quite a good group here today.
Yeah?
And I did speak earlier.
Oh, did you? Missed it, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, I might be speaking again, actually, in a few minutes. It depends whether they still want me to do the late one, because they wanted me to come on earlier.
Right.
So it just happened that way. But yeah, I mean, this is very, I guess you might say, makes you feel good that you have this kind of support and that the people are out here trying to break through and understand what's really going on. As I said, that there is a huge gap between what is supposedly transparency, and yet they have everybody here in a corral, just like their horses in a corral.
Of course, yeah.
And there's the exhibit. The exhibit is
there it is.
Number one is Bilderberg.
Now it's so. It's proved, isn't it, that there is a conspiracy. I mean, it's without a shadow of a doubt. They denied it for years. There is a conspiracy. Here it is.
Yeah.
Now,
well, I mean,
do you truck with? Do you truck with David Icke that there's a good possibility that they're in there drinking virgin's blood and turning into lizards, or is that just a little bit too beyond?
I think maybe some of them definitely come from what you call the more reptilian side of the human race. And
There's a possibility that there are different species. Do you think?
Well, some of them are more or less human, but we all have bits of reptilian DNA in our DNA, right?
Okay.
So we have the reptilian mind, so that's sort of the brain or whatever you call it. So the thing is that, but of course, some of them are reptilians.
Right.
I agree, and they definitely are Satanists as well. I mean, I have interviewed people about this, various people. The Franklin scandal, which is has to do with pornography and so on, and we have stuff on our website. Leo Zagami, one of our very famous interviews, is all about this sort of thing as well. And more recently, I just interviewed a woman named Erin Rothschild, who is a Rothschild,
right?
And she's basically coming out for the first time and speaking about being, part of the Satanists and having, been subjected to torture, et cetera, when she was young.
Now, I wanted to ask you, because I thought it was a fascinating interview that you did with Stephen Greer, slightly controversial, but to say the least, but it was fantastic, because I was amazed to see the Disclosure Project when it first. I was the sixth viewer on the YouTube, and that was like 5 years after it had happened. And so I thought it was an incredible thing. But now Stephen, was it Bassett is his name, and Greer are now doing these things again in the press club. Do you think there's a possibility that they're shills?
Well, okay. First of all, the disclosure event, citizens event for disclosure. It was Stephen Bassett put that on. That was not Stephen Greer. So you need.
Did the first one,
there.
Right?
And of course, Stephen Greer recently released a movie, and so that's a separate issue.
Sure.
Now, what I do think, in the case of both of them, to some degree, is that they are being allowed to speak out. They're being allowed to do these certain events at this time, because there is a more willingness on the part of the Illuminati, the part of the powers that be that are running the world, to begin to wake people up, because they don't care anymore if you know that they're running the world. In other words, this is a perfect display of that sort of thing. They wouldn't have to do this here and make it known to the press. In other words, we're here, we're in a corral, but we are here, and we do know they're doing what they're doing. the fact of the matter is they kind of could have gone to an underground base and had a secret event. You know, they didn't have to publicize it that they're meeting. Do you understand?
Sure.
So publicizing it in a certain sense is like saying in your face, we're going to do this whether you like it or not. We're working on, you know, running the world, and you're not included. We're not asking your opinion. We're doing our thing, and you just happen to be the people that we're doing it to. And so, you know, yes, you can come 2 miles from the site, but you have to be in a little corral like horses, and you can prance around with your cameras all you want, but it doesn't mean anything to us because you're basically not interviewing us, right? So this is in essence what they're saying. So they're, you know, I mean, you understand what's happening here is it's a different tactic. I just did an interview with 2 super soldiers, and basically they're saying to the camera that they are assassins, that they are working for the Fourth Reich in America, and that the Illuminati are Fourth Reich and Satanists, and basically that they're proud of it. And you haven't had this kind of a rap, you know, in public to the camera. And my site is heavily visited all around the world, so it's a message being sent. And the message is basically, we're running the world, and it's time you figure it out, and then you'll just get over it already. That's the attitude. And so it's the New World Order in motion, in, you know, operation. It's not something in the future that's coming. They're doing it, and they've been actually doing it now for several years. I mean, no doubt about it. More and more of their power has grown, but there's no doubt whatsoever that it's become, you know, it's dominating the earth at this time.
So we've got Luke Radowski of We Are Change questioned Henry Kissinger about Memorandum 200, and apparently he penned that he wanted 90% of the population wiped out. Should we fear the fact that we know more about this event now? You know, I mean, does it look like they're looking for the grand cull, or the grand cull is coming, or do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think.
And how do we stop
closer. We're getting, in fact, their sort of blatantness, if you will, to be out there, to be sort of in your face. To have David Cameron go on camera and say, oh, we want to have transparency for the press. There's no transparency. There's a wall between us. You know, it's not only space, but there's more than space. So in essence, yeah, they're getting closer to some of the events that I think they plan for the future that do involve reducing the population. But don't be deceived. They've already started it. Chemtrails are part of it.
There's one up there.
You know, they're over. There's Veterans Today. Gordon Duff laid out a case that was quite convincing. That they basically are already using nukes in Syria. I mean, we're talking about a war being conducted against our wishes in the Middle East, and of course, then that doesn't even address the fact that the Palestinians have been basically decimated by the Israelis, you know, for many years. So yeah, this is real. It's very.
They've been doing it for a long time as well.
Look, on the other side of the equation is this event. Now, tomorrow there will be much more people here, and there were a lot more people here earlier today. I have to say, is a symbol of what's happening around the world. In other words, people are waking up. People are not, you know, just focusing on the Matrix and the TV and so on and so forth. They're going beyond the Matrix, and they're starting to question their reality in every way. And Camelot is part of it. David Icke's part of it. Alex Jones. You know, you have speakers here this weekend that are instrumental in that change. You know, there's obvious change in this consciousness of the people, and this will affect our future. Okay, and this is what is going to possibly turn this game around so that these people are no longer in charge. And I think on a certain level, the level of security here, for example, you know, we had to be searched in every way. We had our bags.
They wouldn't let me have a bottle of water.
You can't even have water here. It's crazy. I mean, you know, here we are in this little corral, and the horses can't even have water. So what kind of, you know, what does that tell you? It tells you that they are so afraid of our power, of our intrinsic power, that they have to corral us and coerce us and lie to us at every juncture. Because otherwise we might realize our own power, and we might realize that the game is up.
Can I ask you a bit more of a personal question about what got you into this? Why, because you're now a bit of an internet celebrity. Well, to me anyway. I've heard of you. I've seen all your films, and some of them are absolutely amazing. Incredible information in them. You seem to ask all the right questions. I mean, did you think one morning I'm going to be a journalist, or did you think I just want to find out how to make a UFO work?
Well, I didn't want to know how to make a UFO work. I was abducted as a kid. I was very aware of alternative realities ever since I was a kid. I did train as a journalist in college. I dropped it and then got into the movie business. I wanted to make feature films, sci-fi blockbusters, actually, because I wanted to change consciousness. I mean, I have always wanted to change consciousness. Now, what happened is I stumbled into, when I reached this glass ceiling in Hollywood, I basically decided to pick up a consumer-grade camcorder, like the one you're holding, and go out and basically, interview people. And I found out I was good at it. I started putting the camera in front of people's faces. Actually, people that were speaking on the UFO circuit, et cetera, et cetera. And then I met Bill Ryan, and we basically teamed up, and he was a webmaster and a writer. And we basically decided to go around the world interviewing whistleblowers, and as it happened, from above top secret. This was the key. So that what I say is, before WikiLeaks was even an idea, over 7 years ago, we had decided to set out and do this. Our information is basically going beyond the matrix. We are not just talking about whistleblowers who are going, with government information that happens to be in the halls of Congress. I mean, the bottom line, and I posted it on my blog today, is that what this symbolizes, what they're really telling you, is who is running the world, okay? And that you don't have a say. And so that's what this is really, why this matters, all right? Because we're here to say that that's not good enough, okay? We don't accept that we don't have a say. And they also are trying to say, basically they're saying that members of Congress don't have a say, the parliament doesn't have a say. I mean, these are just flunkies. They are their flunkies, okay? The press, mainstream press, are their flunkies. So they basically have bought and paid for the game here on Earth. But people like myself and yourself and the rest of the people here, they're basically saying, no, that's not good enough. We're taking the game back. This is the real game, okay? The real game is humans re-evolving back to source, becoming totally awake and aware, and changing the planet to what we want to see here. So I'm part of that movement. I assume you're part of that movement.
Hope so.
And I think that we're a big threat, because they wouldn't have to surround us with all these cops and vans and all kinds of craziness and researching us and not allowing us to be having water.
And not allowing us to be having water.
I mean, if they weren't so threatened. I mean, it's just a fact.
Okay. I think that'll do. I've got a million and more questions, but let me just get a quick shot of you and me. Here we are, Kerry Cassidy, Jud Charlton. Thank you. It's lovely to meet you, really. There's my card, so it'll appear on there. Hopefully.
Okay, yeah. Send me a link, and I'll let people know, and they'll come watch it.
Okay, great. Yeah, because I've got interviews with like anyone I like.
Okay, very good.
And you're one of them.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.